Hey, what's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning into Action Media Reviews. I was walking through Walmart the other day and happened upon some new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Now, I'm not a big collector of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or anything. As a matter of fact, I don't have any of them. I got rid of my collection that I had when I was a kid. It's just something I didn't hang on to. I stuck with G.I. Joe, and for some reason, these really caught my eye. They're very, very nice looking figures, and we're going to open one of them up to check out the articulation and quality of the plastic. But this is pretty cool. These are a 6-inch scale Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, fully articulated like other 6-inch figures. It's the Ninja Elite series. They had 2 of the figures from the 1990 movie, which I loved the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie when I was a kid. I saw those movies in theater and just was absolutely enamored with them. And I had, I wish I still had them, but I had a ton of the figures. I had like every single one that came out that I could find. I loved those figures, and the Toxic Crusader figures that came out they were basically the same build as a Ninja Turtle. I loved those things too. They were awesome figures, and since I've gotten into a lot of the 6-inch scale stuff, I just had to go ahead and get these. And whenever we open one of them, we'll compare this to like a 6-inch G.I. Joe figure. I think I've got one laying around somewhere that we can use. Anyway, here's Michelangelo. Take a look. I'll show you an FPV here of him in a few moments. But he has shots from the movie all over the box. The box is really nice. This is a little bit bigger than what you would get with the windowed G.I. Joe boxes. These are made by Playmates. $20, and you're looking at like what, $25+ for a Marvel Legends figure that's in a windowless box and doesn't have any artwork. It's just a digital render of what's supposed to be inside the box. We know that those get switched in the stores quite a bit, but Ninja Elite series Michelangelo from the 1990 movie, Mikey in Disguise. That's the figure. And then we have the Ninja Elite series from the classic TV series, the cartoon inspired by the classic TV series, Shredder. And his head looks a little bit small, but overall, I think it's a pretty cool figure. The one thing that I would have liked to seen different on this is for both of the hands to either be articulated like that Ninja Turtle figure was, like the Mikey in Disguise, or at least an open hand that could grasp other weapons and things. Because he does have one hand that is a closed fist. Let's get the glare off there. And I'll show you again in first-person perspective. But his only grasping hand is the right hand. But he does appear to have some pretty good articulation there. And then also from the 1990 movie, we have Leo in Disguise. And these coats are a soft goods product. They are cloth. They are stitched. But the hands, even the turtle's hands, his fingers are articulated. The thumb and the fingers, so you can actually, open and close the hand. I think that's a really cool feature. Very nice figures all around. Articulation, I'm already noticing, is inconsistent across this line. We have another inspired by the classic TV series. We have Triceratops. And this is actually the figure that we're going to be opening because the tape, it looks like it was folded over. It just wasn't taped at the factory. There's no residue or anything here, as you can see in the glare. So it's like this was never taped, but it is taped on the other side. But they had 2 of these on the shelf. I went ahead and bought both of them. This one because it was not taped up here, and I have one that's fully taped on the shelf back there that I'm actually going to keep. I'm going to collect this line. I don't know if I'm going to collect all of the stuff they put out for it, but at least the movie figures and the classic TV series figures, because I loved this growing up. I watched Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles all the time when I was a kid. I loved it. So let's actually, you know what? I'm probably going to open up one of the Ninja Turtle figures as well so that we can take a look at that hand articulation. They really did a nice job with that, I think. I haven't held one in hand out of the box yet, but man, I dig these boxes and everything about them. Like, the display is awesome. They have a tray inside the figure goes into with all the accessories. They don't come with a ton of accessories, but hey, they're $20, which for a 6-inch figure like this, $20 right in the current market, that's a pretty good deal. Those are like 2018, 2019 prices. So let's get them opened up. Just to go over the box art, I'm not going to turn the light on for that, but I just wanted everyone to be able to see all of the artwork across the sides and the back of the box. You also have a nice little backstory here, and the Elite Series. Playmates Toys Ninja Elite action figures include all of your favorite characters from 1984 to today. Celebrate their eras with 6-inch action figures, dressed and decorated in detailed outfits and fully articulated to fight evil. 18 points of articulation. Now, this is actually a little sticker because not all of the figures share the same number of articulation points. So these will go on the box to tell you how many points of articulation the figures have. PlaymatesToys.com, YouTube, TMNT Toys. I didn't know any of this stuff existed. This is all new to me. And on the side, you have the label here, and this is a label that's on the box, TMNT Classic Triceraton. I wonder how many figures are already out for this. I know that there's a set of 4 comic turtles that they have out, and I've actually found those at a pretty decent price. I'm probably going to go ahead and get those just to add to my collection. All right, let's go ahead and I'm just going to press that piece of tape down there. Let's open them from the bottom. This figure is actually being passed on to a friend of mine who is a turtle fan. He's a TMNT fan and is going to be collecting this line. Doesn't have this one yet. So the bottom of this box just has a tab right here that kind of plugs in, and it should be pretty easy to open without destroying the package. I know that he wants to keep these boxed. And most of the time, the great thing about this type of packaging is that it makes a good display for the figure, and you can put it back in the box after you take it out and do whatever it is that you're going to do with it. Nice cardboard background, and then of course you have the plastic vac form tray, and the figure is actually zip tied in. Okay, so it's nice and secure. We're going to pop these zip ties off and get the figure out. Okay, so all of the zip ties that were on there were a total of 6, holding everything in place, and they're kind of a pain to get off there. So you're going to need some little cutting pliers or some really good sharp scissors to get those off. All right, now we'll put them together. His tail is a separate piece. Let there be light. Okay. So this is a pretty hard material, and so is the post on the back. And you know what? I might just ship this to him loose. So let's check out the articulation. We have articulation in the ankle. That is a really nice far bend back that you can get there. Articulation in the knee. That is a double joint. These joints are pretty soft. They're when I say soft, I mean they're not hard to articulate. They do have what feels like some little knobs inside to keep them from just flopping around loose. The hip appears to be, the hip is a ball and socket joint, much like the older Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle figures. And yeah, everything feels pretty nice on the articulation of the legs. The hands are able to be rotated, and it looks like there is a disc in there, so you can get a little bit of movement like this. This is the gripping hand I was talking about. I would like to have seen that with Shredder, but you also have a double jointed elbow, and the shoulder is a disc with the Can you hear that? That holds everything in place. So it's a disc and post that goes into the torso. You also have torso articulation, which appears to be, I'm betting that the piece inside there actually goes all the way down to the legs like a T-post and then comes up for the head. No, the head has a different type of post for a ball and socket joint, but you do have an articulated head. This is a softer plastic that's able to flex a bit as well. And you have a bicep articulation as well. That's really cool. So lots of points of articulation on this figure that we didn't have on the original TMNT figures. So I really dig this a lot. This is a very cool figure. And he does come with this this blaster thing here. I don't know what type of gun it was that Triceraton used. I know Triceraton was a popular character. And let's see if we can get this into his hand. Yeah, well, maybe. Come on. Get a grip there, guy. Okay. And I don't know what this thing is. I don't remember it from the cartoon. But, yeah. Overall, a really nice quality figure for $20, and especially considering the packaging looks so good. And he's able to stand on his own to be posed. And if you had to, you could use that tail as kind of a little bit of a brace there in the back. The articulation of the tail is just this. This is all the tail does. It spins around. So you have the full Triceraton figure here all put together. He looks really good too. It's detailed enough and everything's tight enough to actually pose the figure, but loose enough that it doesn't feel like you're going to break anything. I think that these figures have a lot of playability and posability options and are a really good buy for the price. Since these are heavily zip tied into, man, I really want to check out that hand articulation. I had thought maybe I just wasn't going to open it. We got a lot to cover on this Leo figure. This figure has a lot more than what I thought, and am quite surprised after opening the box. So he does have the scabbards for his, the sheaths for his swords here. Leo was actually one of my favorite turtles for a little while, and Donatello was the other. So this soft goods coat, let's see how this thing works. You have a belt here. Man, they really did a nice job with these, I think. So that belt would actually come all the way undone, and it's sewn in back here. But you can take the coat off. Is there button? No, Velcro. There we go. And then you have the classic looking Leonardo turtle. If we can get that coat off. Yeah, I just want to make sure that it's able to be taken off. He got his elbow bent back pretty far there. But, and then this side should do the same. Yeah, I know you guys like watching me fumble around with shit. Come on. There we go. Okay, now we have the turtle freed of the coat. Let's see how this shoulder articulation works here. That's pretty tight. It's extremely tight, actually. So let's move that arm down. Is that how that goes? Like this? Maybe? Yeah, it looks like the other side. So don't really care a whole lot for the shoulder articulation there, but I also understand that this figure is intended to wear this coat. And his arms kind of need to be placed correctly for that. Let's look at the hand articulation here. The fingers are individually articulated. Check that out. That is awesome. The thumb is individually articulated as well. Then you have the wrist. Is there movement, or is there extra movement there in the wrist? I can't tell. Is it? Yeah, there is actually. The wrist has its own articulation and turns. Then you have the double jointed elbow and the bicep articulation in the shoulder, and you can see how all of that moves. Pretty cool. This one is pretty tight. Hey, there we go. I think that's actually how it should look to be in the down position. That seems to be what works the best. You have that double jointed elbow here. Same articulation on this hand, the fingers being individually articulated, as well as the thumb. And the toes. The toes are also individually articulated. That's pretty neat. And you have the ankle being the... Oh, okay, so you have a rocker and you have that back and forth motion there. Quite a large range of movement there for the ankle. Then you have the double jointed knee, and you have a hip rotator, as well as the same type of ball and socket joint that Triceratops had. Triceratops did not have the hip rotator that this figure has. Of course, you have the shell in the back. You have the torso articulation here for the figure, and that bottom part seems to move independently of the shell. That's neat. And you also have the neck ball here for this big old rubber head. I'm sure that this would probably... Does that come off? It does not appear to be made to come off. You probably could, but at least... Yeah, I don't think that I would take this apart to remove the belts or anything. But you do have a lot of articulation and posability here with this figure, even without the coat. Let's take a look at how the next piece actually, the hat. So the hat is flocked, and you can see where in the packaging a bit of that flocking is worn away. Yeah, looks like the flocking is worn away on that part of the hat. But this will fit onto the figure's head like so. And it even has a little cutout back here for the mask. And this is not a soft material, so it's not going to like flex over the figure's head. It's basically just kind of a set on there type thing. And then you have the swords and sheaths that will plug into his back right here in a backpack hole. How does this work? Oh, I've got them in there upside down. That is keyed. A little bit odd, but whatever. It plugs right into his back like so. And there your swords are. So, great looking Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles figure. I think they did an awesome job on these. 6-inch scale. I have a broken Snake Eyes here, and we'll do a little bit of a size comparison. So they are a good 6-inch figure. From heel to head, I think that Leo's actually a little bit. He might be just a touch over 6. He might be like 6.5 inches tall. Snake Eyes is just a little bit short of 6 inches. Or a little bit over 6 inches. Yeah, he's just a little bit over 6 inches. So, but yeah, these figures, they scale with G.I. Joe and other figures of that scale, the 1/12 scale. Really dig it, though. I think it's pretty cool that they made all the fingers individually articulated. Personally, I'm probably not going to open these. I'm probably just going to keep them displayed in the boxes like they are. I did want to open that one specifically just to show you the articulation of the turtle figure. Shredder on the back, it says he also has 18 points of articulation, but I do see whereas he doesn't have the same articulation points as the Ninja Turtle, especially not the individually articulated fingers. Those things are pretty cool. Michelangelo, Mikey in disguise. One of the things with this figure, it appears as though the chains for his nunchucks are actually metal. And I'm assuming that he has the same build as Leo. I don't think that they would really change anything about the turtle figures. His leg is turned all wonky inside the packaging, and I'm not sure why they would have done that, but you can see that one leg there is turned almost 90 degrees in. It's a little weird. But, I mean, the face sculpt and everything on these figures looks really good. I just wanted to show these. It's something a little bit different than what I normally go over or review or talk about. Normally, it's G.I. Joe figures. And, man, I've got some G.I. Joe stuff that I really need to get out. I've got a lot of products for a lot of content and a lot of reviews. It's just time. I got to have time to do this stuff. And occasionally that's a problem for me to get. But anyway, there you go. The Ninja Elite series from Playmates. Be sure to check these out. I don't know what other stores are carrying them. I know that Walmart carries them. So pick them up. They're a good figure and they scale with your other 112 stuff. So anyway, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button, comment, share, let me know what you think of these figures. Or if you're a TMNT collector already, let me know about your collection. Let's talk about it. Description has links to Facebook groups and stuff like that. I have plenty of Facebook groups that you all can join. Also, there's a link to my eBay store where I sell all kinds of stuff. So be sure to check that out too. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you again here soon.